Alrighty, guys, it is me, Crimson 6060 on camera, and that should be better. That should be better. How are you guys doing today? And welcome to the it's fucking joking. That joke is gonna get so fucking old, so fucking quick. And so it's Monday. Had a long day at work, fellas and ladies. And we're actually just gonna be we're actually be streaming, and I have a new video that I saw and we're paying attention to. And if you can join me on, well, listening and critiquing. And as always, we're gonna throw in Smite, even though I got my 4 gig hard drive, and well, I might as well just now just download the shit. Well, 4 terabyte. Why do I keep saying 4 gig? Oh my god, I'm fucking tired. And I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know if you guys can see me or not. Shit. Forgot to bring up the goddamn what's the name. And so yeah, everything should be up and going. Where's my fucking remote? Ah, there we go. Turn the master TV down. Turn this TV up. Alright. I'm trying to actually fix it where I can actually see a box and a... Alright, so let's put this right here. I need you guys to tell me if you actually see the video. And let's go. It's not showing.
Recently, Sargon put out a video on incels, and being someone who has a bit of expertise on this topic myself, I wanted to respond to him.
It's not gonna show.
How off base I think a lot of his video was, and I understand why. I do, and I'll get into the details of that in this video. But for
all right, so this is a reply to an idiot, which Sargon of Akkad is an idiot. He's stupid. He's short attention span. From somebody who is an incel, or claims to be an incel. So, this is the guy I'm reviewing, and I'll put it in the playback for YouTube, because my videos are stored on YouTube. Guy named Monday Blue. And this was published on December the 28th, 2018. Wait a minute. 3 days after Christmas? What was I doing 3 days after Christmas? Okay. 3 days after Christmas, I was preparing for my art show. I know. And then New Year's Eve, I was, well, I celebrate the New Year special. But let's continue.
For a little background on me, most people start dating when they're around 15 years old, and I'm 42 years old now. So that's 27 years since the starting gates of dating. But I've only ever had 2 girlfriends, and the total time between them was 3 years. So 24 out of the last 27 years, I've been single. So obviously something's gone very wrong in my life. About 2 years ago, I discovered a sub on Reddit called...
Okay, so let me turn them up. I don't know if you guys can hear them. And basically, okay, so here's my thing with this guy. What is it that you can't get a girlfriend for? What are your standards? What are your hang-ups? What is it that you having a girlfriend, you said it was a total time in your 27 years of dating that you've had a total time of 3 years with a woman? What is it? He doesn't look like he has a problem. Not that I judge, man. I just find women super more attractive. What is it that is his problem? But let's continue.
Called Forever Alone, where I was surprised to find a bunch of other people with similar long-term dating problems as myself. It's both men and women on that sub, mostly men though. So in the presentation, I'm going to show you.
Wait a minute. I'm not going to let him just stroll past that one. So, mostly men, right? That's what he said. And no, that's not what you're going to get away with, dog. Because in the end, you actually just said it. Hey, why is it that mostly men are on these forums? I don't get it. Yeah, let's pick up the match. But let's pick up the match. Because they drove a lot of the women off. Incel was a term that was originally created about a woman. Go figure, right? And they were using it to talk about themselves. Go figure, right?
In a minute, you'll see the abbreviation FA, which stands for Forever Alone. I prefer that to Incel. I don't really like that term. And those of us who are on the FA sub also don't like that term because it focuses on the sex rather than on the relationship aspect of it. And for most of us, that's what we're really missing out on. So for any of the women who are watching this wondering where are the men who want relationships and not hookups, those are called incels. And my original channel on YouTube was not this political channel, rather it
here's the thing, dog. I'm gonna say this, and I think I've done. No, that wasn't him. That wasn't him. But I could have sworn he looks familiar. But yeah, let's get this on. But he doesn't like the term incel, and I don't get why he doesn't like the term incel. Is he incel? Yeah, he's incel. So why don't you like the term? You don't like the term. I got a suspicious message while I'm streaming. No. But anyway, he doesn't like the term incel. And I get it. It's so many negative connotations to the term incel that you'll be a fool to actually want to be described as an incel. That wasn't him. Hold on, guys. All right, yeah. All right, so let's go.
was a channel about the incel or forever alone phenomenon. And after reading a lot of the sub and talking with a lot of the other people who were stuck in this situation, I came to notice a general life arc or a general life pattern for a lot of us, which I'll share with you in this video so that you have a better understanding of where a lot of us are coming from. And this was the effort that I had with the rest of the community where I worked with them creating different versions of the video, and I can also link you to
that is him
to the full version of this video.
The FA video is him.
Give you an idea of how does someone end up
that's him
incel or forever alone. Let me show you this.
That is him.
A lot of the guys and a few women who are stuck in the incel or forever alone situation. Life starts with a dysfunctional or abusive family.
Yeah, it's him.
People, by the time that they're 18,
it's the same excuses.
By the time they're ready to go out into the world, their self-esteem has already been crushed. They often have an unrealistic view of themselves. For example, one of the comments.
It's him. It's the one that I did the other day. Oh, wow. So I figure shit out. Are they padding their numbers like your boy G-Man that I talk about so much on this channel? Because he fucking has like 6 channels to own the atheist. Wow, it is him. I am fucking surprised. It is really him. And so he even has the same stick figure people. I don't know how to classify this, but he has it. It's his ass. It is his ass. Wow. That's sad. That's really fucking sad. Because in the end, he's just reinforcing this stereotype of, oh wow, it's his ass. Wow, shit. No wonder his voice sounds familiar. And I clicked on a few of his videos to actually see if it was him. Yes, it is him. But let's go.
Commenters on my channel grew up in a family where they were made to do yard work and tree trimming and car repair and computer repair and some electrical work and some plumbing around their house. But because their family was abusive, because their family constantly put them down and made them feel worthless, when this person was 18 years old, if you had asked them, what kind of skills do you have, they would have told you none. And it was
okay. So people live in abusive relationships in homes all the time. I mean, my marriage wasn't all that healthy, but I didn't turn around and blame society for it. I blamed the person and moved on. I fucking dealt with the person and moved the fuck on. But the fact that it's up to society to kind of understand your limitations and work around your limitations, it smacks in the face of special snowflakes. I don't know what to call it, but it sounds like you're being a special little snowflake. And I'm not trying to down them. Not. I really not. But I just want these people to see exactly what's going on and what they believe that, well, it's just, I just don't get the whole idea of these people who says that this is bad happened to me, so it's everybody's fault that I'm like this, or it's my abusive parents' fault that I'm like this. But let's go.
Because of the abuse they experience in their dysfunctional family. And unfortunately, once you come from a dysfunctional family, that will often make you vulnerable to bullying at school. So not only were they getting abuse at home.
I came from not a healthy family, but I would say I was okay. And honestly, the only bad times I've had with relationships is when I've treated people more like a goal to accomplish versus just thinking of them as people and relating to them as people. And this whole thing of wanting a relationship above all others, or you're not justified as a human, that fucking shit is so dehumanizing, because you look for this goal of a relationship. And yes, coming from somebody who believes in polyamory and actually believes that you can have a relationship with a lot of people, when you look at what you're really looking for versus just to say, I want a relationship. Yeah, I fucking get it. But that's not what you're doing. You're placing the illness on, because I don't have a relationship, then it's something completely wrong with me. And it may be something wrong with you, but it's not because you don't have a relationship. But let's go.
Or experiencing dysfunction at home, they were also experiencing bullying during their school years as well. And if you're going to say just stand up for yourself, it's a lot harder to stand up for yourself when you're already crushed at home. It's a lot harder to stand up for yourself when your first bullies are your parents.
No, actually, a lot of times the people that are bullies are hurt at home. Let's just be honest. There are a lot of people who bully people because they have been hurt from their upbringing. That don't mean shit. You're making an excuse. What is why is it that you can't get a relationship? And don't give me this bullshit about, well, I don't. It's just like, I don't know. I've never had a problem with getting in relationships. I've never had a problem with getting in relationships. As a matter of fact, somebody told me once that I love being in relationships, and it's not in fear of, I'm not bragging. And notice I said relationships, not sexual partners. A relationship is easy. It's just the connotation that you put on it. If you put if you put a connotation that is not real unless you have this, then again, it's you putting that connotation there. Not that somebody isn't being what you need them to be. But let's continue.
For a lot of the people in this community, this leads to mental health issues such as anxiety, depression.
Why do people always throw autism? And I may have stopped it a little bit too soon, but people always want to say it's autism. Yeah, okay, some people may be quote unquote autistic, but sometimes it's not that you don't have the mental capabilities of interacting with people. Sometimes you just don't have the emotional intelligence of interacting with people. But let's continue.
Some of them have autism, and of course, a lot of us experience social isolation because of this. Now, I'm not just using these words randomly. A good number of the people who are on this sub and the commenters on my channel have been to therapists. They have gotten diagnosis of clinical depression or clinical social anxiety or a diagnosis of autism. It's not just...
I mean, like, it's relative easy to be diagnosed with clinical depression in a sense where you have depression symptoms for a certain amount of time. You can be diagnosed as clinical depression. The fact is, we don't value mental health like we should. Everybody goes through things such as that. And some people may have it to the degree where they need to be medicated. Yeah, I get that. But it doesn't mean that... It doesn't mean that you are sit up here and curse with this forever alone moniker that you seem to be, trying to keep up. But let's continue.
You know how people on the internet will self-diagnose things. It's not just that. But growing up, that doesn't mean we don't have friends. However, for a lot of us, our friends are just as clueless as we are. So it is good to have friends, don't get me wrong. It's better than having nothing at all. Although there are a good number of FAs and incels that grow up with no friends at all. And it's probably because of the dysfunction and abuse they experience in their homes. But think about that compared to what a normal person might experience where they do grow up.
I'm sorry, you have to forgive me. Like, kids are shitty. Like, kids are really fucking shitty. And that doesn't stop you from it doesn't stop you from actually having a relationship. And I'm sorry, like, just my own personal life. I fucking had a situation where I personally have had situations where, things have actually gotten different. I'm 37 years old, but life has actually changed. There are so many communities you can connect with. What is it that you can't find a relationship for? I don't get it. When I ask these fucking questions, a lot of people are just like, they just can't find a relationship. I don't get that. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Having friends. You learn a lot of social skills by having friends in elementary, middle school, and high school. But for the guys and girls who grew up in such a bad situation where they didn't even have friends, they're already starting off life coming from a dysfunctional family, and now they don't develop the social skills for friendships. part of being well functioning in life is being around the right group of people. And growing up, I thought of myself as being a nerd.
And this is like scripted exactly from what he was saying earlier out of that script. And I'm sorry, you know, it kind of bothers me. And I know why it bothers me, because I find it all too easy to fall into this pit of, hey, I want to say it's everybody's fault that I can't relate to people, when a lot of times it's actually my fault that I can't relate to people in the way that I want to relate to people. It's not necessarily that a lot of people don't. Again, I go back to that question. Why are you alone? And then once you figure that out, we can actually address that.
Like this guy here. But even when I joined nerd communities, I found like I often felt like I was around the wrong group of people. You know, wrong for me, I mean. I don't mean wrong like robbing liquor stores. Now, in retrospect, I can tell you why this happened to me. 20 years ago, I couldn't have told you why. But now I can tell you why, is that part of what happens when you come from a dysfunctional family is you have a difficult time telling, well, good guys from bad guys, for lack of a better way of putting it. So you will often, during your teen years or even your early adult years, end up around a lot of other dysfunctional people, often because healthier people don't want to be around the dysfunctional. And having seen...
I'm going to have to call bullshit on that. Because here's the thing. There are a lot of people that are... We all are broken in some sort of way. Some sort of, you know... One son got us against another, huh? We all are broken in some sort of way. We all have some sort of damage. None of us made it through childhood as a completely whole person. We all have edges that we need to cover. But the fact that you sit back and you act as if, hey, it's because I didn't know how to be social during my formative years, that the reason why I'm forever alone. That's bullshit, dog. And you know it's bullshit. But let's continue.
In the long-term life outcomes of dysfunctional people, I don't blame them. As I got older into my 20s and I saw some of the people that I knew turn into alcoholics or drug addicts or having children with random women or getting involved in just disastrous relationships, I realized that it wasn't just me that had the problem. I was also surrounded by problematic people. And that's because like attracts like.
Okay, so obviously not, because these are people that had a relationship with certain women, and it's like you say a point and you refute it the next few seconds. Like, I don't understand why you don't see this. You're buying into your narrative. And yeah, maybe I have my own cognitive bias about buying into my own narrative of how the world should be. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I may be doing that, but you're doing it to the point where it's unhealthy for you, dog. But let's go.
You come from a dysfunctional family, you often end up around others who are dysfunctional. It's also a right time in life when dating happens. Typically this will be between 15 and 25 years old.
No, it doesn't happen like that. Oh my God. I actually have somebody who, oh my God, like, me freely dating like I am now didn't happen until I was like 36. It's not a set date. Sometimes you believe certain shit because you've been told to believe the shit. God damn it.
Because this is during high school and college years. This is when you're exposed to a lot of other people who are similar in age to you, who are learning new things about life just like you, people who have a lot of things in common with you. But most of us miss that. I did no dating in high school. I had no dating in college. And that's the time in life when people learn a lot of social knowledge, skills, and abilities to function in the dating world. And I don't just mean things like flirting. I mean things like, what kind of girls do I like? What kind of girls like me? What kind of people should I put myself in front of? What kind of people am I compatible with? One of the common things that you'll see come up on the forum.
No, but shit.
One of the FAs will say,
yo, things that you like change over time. It happens. We are fucking humans. We grow. We change over time. We don't just stick with one fucking thing because, oh yeah, this one thing is what I liked in fucking high school. Now I actually like it. Shit, I like completely chaste girls and pure and demure girls, but now I may like a little bit of the freak now. I enjoy me a woman that's bisexual. Maybe that's just me. But hey, if you were to ask high school me, it would have said no. No, that's nasty. I grow up. We all do. But let's continue.
hey, I met a new girl and I can't tell if she likes me. Well, the reason this person can't tell if a girl likes them is because they've never seen what it looks like when a woman likes them before.
Yeah, you have.
To make. And as you get older, the situation only gets worse because it means you have fewer and fewer life experiences in common with other people. So a woman who's 42 years old probably has had several serious long-term relationships, or maybe she was married and has children.
And this is where it comes down to. It comes down to purity tests, and I don't want to seem like I don't know what I'm doing at age 30 or 35 or 40. I want to seem like I'm a person of the world, or I want to actually stop people who may have had experiences where I like legit. Like, this is part of the reasons why a lot of these people have fucking issues. It's not the fact that they think that people would disagree, like think that they're less than. No, they don't want to seem like they're less than. They have a fucking pride issue, so they need to have somebody who's on the same level or class or same number as they are. And that shit, it's admitting defeat, like we're about to get right here.
In other words, she's going to have a lot of life experiences that I can't relate to. Frankly, I could probably, life experience-wise, when it comes to dating and relationships,
see,
I'm
told you,
somewhere closer to a person on the level of in their early 20s. Another common thing we experience is a breakdown of a social network. Now, I'll give you an example from my own life. Imagine a group of nerds like this, where it's overwhelmingly guys and a couple girls. Now, each one of these nerds are friends and acquaintances with one another. And very often, they might have one friend here, one friend there, outside of...
Yeah, we just got our ass handed to her. But this is what I don't get about this fool. It's really about, I don't want to seem like I don't know. Fuck. I am going to say this. And I don't give a fuck who cares about it. Every time I'm with somebody new, they teach me. They teach me about shit that I may not know. They introduce me to shit that I may not know about. I don't need to be the big top dog. I don't need to be the person that just am, I don't need to be that person where it is that I don't have to be just projected as that I know everything about everything and I'm the big top dog in relationships. There are certain shit that with certain people I don't know about until after we've experienced it. It's okay. Fuck, it's okay. And just falling down this path, well, I probably have the same relationship experience as somebody in the early 20s. No, dude, no, don't do that. Because that takes you down dark paths. Just like these fucking incels that you so worried about not being associated with. But let's continue.
The group. But in the larger social network, this is effectively an isolated node. There's no connection to other social networks through which you can meet more people or through which you can meet more women, for that matter. And especially in groups of nerds, you're looking maybe at best 3 guys for every girl, maybe more. And part of the reason I was involved in nerd groups is because I'd always heard, go out and do things you enjoy and you'll meet people and you'll make friends that way and maybe you'll find a romantic partner that way. Well, if the things that you're interested in are demographically overwhelmingly male, that's not going to work out very well for you. And not just overwhelmingly.
Okay, so this is a part that I had an issue with in his video that he did that we covered. And so, overwhelmingly male is bullshit because you can actually do a lot. Fuck. Okay, so if you watch my YouTube channel, I actually have back in June of last year or July of last year, I went to Animate Midwest. And yes, it was fucking fun. So I started doing the convention bug. And then I went to CAD just this December. And yes, shit in anime and, you know, comics and mangas are mostly males. But there were women there. There were women there with their friends. There were women there with their boyfriends. There were women there with their girlfriends. There were women there with their husbands. There were women there with their wives. Fuck. Stop acting as if because you're in a certain amount of clade of people that you are locked into, well, it's no women here, so I'm forever alone. Fuck that. I fucking do YouTube. Fucking do Twitch. I play video games. And yet, and still, I find shit to do that I can actually spend time with fucking enjoying people that I may want to have sex with. But notice I said something. A person. Women are people. When you treat a relationship as a goal and not just a state of being, then you have your issue. But let's continue. Fucking got me mad.
Activities that women are kind of repulsed by. Now, 20 years ago, I never would have thought of this kind of thing. It wouldn't have occurred to me that a person, or not just a person, but a group of people.
What activities are women repulsed by? There are women that play video games. Look, my closest friend right now, she's a close friend. I bought a PlayStation Pro. The shit that I'm working on right now, that I'm playing on right now, that I'm playing Smite on right now. I have an old PlayStation. The fact that I was like, hey, do you want it? Well, no. Yes, she wants it. Because women play video games. Men play video games. People play fucking video games. It's not a kid's thing. It's not an adult thing. It's a people entertainment thing. Women like comic books. I personally don't buy comic books, but I go through the topics. Marvel movies. It is something that people like to fucking do. What are they repulsed by? No, they're repulsed by your gatekeeping. They're repulsed by your fucking, I know more than you, so sit back down. Please, please share fucking knowledge with me. If I am doing something that you may be interested in, I am not going to gatekeep. I promise you that. I'm going to even more like teach me something I don't know. And it goes back to this whole thing of you have to be superior. You have to have power in order to show that you're worth being in a relationship or you should be in a relationship. But let's continue. God damn, got me mad.
Because normally when we think of isolated people, we think of isolated individuals. We don't think of a group of 20 people all stuck on a social island disconnected from the rest of the larger network. And here's why.
Because it's not. Oh my God, it's not. You said you 40. Through your life, there has been the fucking internet. You do not have an isolated community. God damn. Unless you sit around and say, this is some shit that I like that I know that no woman would like sitting around on the forum hating women because you're pissed off you can't get a relationship, then maybe you have your blinders on. Just a little bit. But let's continue.
That's important. This is from Mike.com. How'd you meet your significant other? 38% of people met him through friends in common. 22% out in a social setting. For a lot of us, the kind of social networks that we're in, we're not meeting potential significant others through friends in common because there's just not enough women to go around.
Bullshit! It's more women than there are men! That's bullshit. Bullshit. There are more available women than there are men. Bullshit. No, you want somebody to be up your ass and somebody who won't have a choice but to be with you. And I remember just the other day when we were going through his original video, the mix needs to be 50-50 men and women so they can pair it properly. Shit don't happen like that. I'm sorry. It doesn't. And if you really think that you have to have some mathematical formula to give yourself an edge of why you can't get a woman, then that's your problem. You're not being who you are. You're trying to play some game, some mathematical formula to say, this is what I need to do to actually get a woman. When you just have to fucking treat them like a person. And maybe, here's the thing. You want to actually give women the opportunity to say no to you, just like you have the opportunity to say no to them. That's something that happens. But no, you want to say, well, no, I'm forever alone because reasons, because society forces me to be forever alone. But no, let's continue.
Or even when you go out in social settings, the kinds of guys who are stuck in this situation, and the girls too, the world is not a welcoming place. What I mean by that is...
Okay, so, check this out. World is not a welcoming place for most people. That's the thing. You have this assumption that some people have this magical formula that, hey, I know this, so it works. No, that's not the shit that really happens. And I'm sorry. You have this whole thing where it's just like, well, because of, you know, family history and shit like that, then it's obviously because I've been abused, I can't trust people. No, that's not what happens. I'm sorry, dog. There are people that have social anxiety issues that still end up having, Exactly, Panda. You have to fucking be you. And if that's an eccentric asshole that yells at people on the internet, like I am doing right now, some people actually like that shit. Some people like that you're expressive about shit. What people don't like is when you're being an asshole for no fucking reason other than to say you're superior. But let's continue.
We live in a very different social world than normal people do. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's...
I'm just going to cut right here and say, there are no fucking normal people. There are people that have different issues, but there are no fucking normal people. Get your head out of your ass and stop acting as if you have some major damage that we all don't have. I'm not going to say he's being a special sulfate. I am not going to say that. Because each person has their own pain. And their pain is unique to them. And what may be painful for me may not be painful for you. I get that. We all go through it. So, why don't you get your head out of your ass and realize how that we all are having this pain? Because maybe somebody has been where you're at. And maybe they can actually help you with your pain. And I'm going to tell you this. A lot of the problem is this whole relationships are not a fucking status symbol. They are not a goal. They're a state of being. But let's continue.
In your face. But the social world is generally not welcoming to us. I'll give you a couple examples that recently happened to me. And yes, before I tell you what they are, I realize that in the grand scheme of things, they're not a big deal. What they are, though, is the symptom of larger social problems that men like myself have. There's a local grocery store that I go to that has a greeter. It's this older woman, probably in her 60s somewhere. And I did the same thing I always do going in. I walked in and tried smiling at her. Tried. But she wouldn't look at me. And the last time I was there, I noticed that after I walked past her, she said hello to the guy behind me. Now, she didn't say his name. It was just a casual, welcome to...
Exactly, Panda.
Say what the place was. you know, welcome to this place. And they had that polite interaction. And I know she didn't miss seeing me. It would be...
Wait, because a greeter didn't say hi to you, it's a problem with the world? Wait, what? Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go back and listen to that shit. But
to miss seeing me coming in is because of how close she was to the door, and yet I was ignored. And yes, like I said, I realize in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal that the greeter doesn't greet you. Rather, I'm pointing to it as a symptom of the larger kind of social problems that we face. To give you another example of one that I've run into since I was in middle school. I was at a small corner store near my house, and I was standing in line. There was a woman in front of me at the checkout. I don't remember what she was.
Okay, so you are giving these personal anecdotes about how people are just ignoring you, and you don't. It's so the world is hard for you and shit like that. I get ignored a lot of times. I'm sorry. I actually make it a point, and you know what? Hell, I'm gonna say this. I make it a point to be an asshole to people, not in a malicious, evil way, but I literally have this thing where I fuck with people. People actually. It'd be 9 o'clock at night, and I got part of it from the Truman Show, and I don't know if I told this story before, but if you ever watch the Truman Show, he has a line. He would say, "Good morning." The person responds back to him. The actor would say, "In case I don't see you, good afternoon, and good evening, and good night." So, with one of that being in my top 100 movies, I watch too many movies. That's in my mind. So people would always comment that I wouldn't speak to them. So the first thing that came to my mind is to be an asshole, even at 9 o'clock at night, to say, "Good morning." And the funniest thing about it is, it's being an asshole, but not in a malicious way. And a lot of people actually find that's a great conversation starter, because it just humanizes people. And a lot of these FA guys and incels, they don't humanize people. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's easy not to humanize people. Our society actually encourages us not to humanize people. But it is up to us to humanize people. You said it's a problem sometimes to know who to trust. But when you humanize a person, you don't have this issue, because you know who to trust when you humanize a person. When you actually think, just plebes, then you have this issue where you can't tell good guys from bad guys because you're not humanizing people. But let's continue.
It's not really important for the story. But I was standing there looking at my hand, counting change, and she turned around, again, and I looked up, kind of with like a dumb look on my face, like, "Huh, what's going on?" And she gave me a look of disgust. And I've had that happen to me a lot. It was a lot worse when I was younger. But even to this day, I'll get that kind of thing. And I'm pointing to these two, and yes, I realize that in the grand scheme of things, these two examples are not that big of a deal. It's not world-ending. But they're two of the symptoms, two of the subtle signs that society is relatively unwelcoming to you. That's a common experience a lot of us.
But it's unwelcome. This is what I don't get. Society is unwelcoming to a lot of people. A lot of people. And yet, what is the problem? What is going on where these people are actually feeling like they are some kind of way special, singled out to be forever alone? No. I'm sorry. If you have mental issues, I fucking get it. I fucking get mental issues. And as much as I've actually seen counselors before, stuff was going wrong in my life and I actually saw a counselor. It's okay. But it's also something else going on which you have to believe, that you can't actually find somebody to relate to you. I don't give a fuck about a relationship. you telling me that you can't find somebody to relate to you. I find that hard to believe.
Now, it's certainly not all the time and everywhere. There's been other times where I've had social experiences where people actually were very welcoming to me. But it happens enough to you that you notice. It happens enough to you that it stands out. You know, if it happened once a year, once every other year, you'd blow it off like it was no big deal. But if it happens a couple times a month, or worse, a couple times a week, you start to notice these kinds of things. And especially for men and women who already are experiencing some level of social isolation.
Okay, so, okay, so, I hate to pull the race card, fucking hate to pull it, but where are these people that understand where African Americans, maybe African American men, are also seen as, I don't know, maybe looked into disgust or looked at as a threat, or actually had a situation where they were told, where they had to, where someone actually, when you walk past somebody and they clench their purse. And this is not just people of different ethnicities. It's actually people of the same ethnicity. And I just don't get these people. They want to make it as if it's all about them. They're the only ones to go through things. Again, I understand people all have pain. I get it. And I don't want to minimize somebody else's pain. But the fact when you take it and you say, well, it's special to me. No. Well, let's continue.
To begin with, you know, outside of work, you might only have 10 social encounters a week, and if 3 of them are bad, it looks a lot worse than for, say, a person who experiences less social isolation, who might have 100 social encounters a week outside of work, and only 3 of them are bad. Now, even though I had friends and acquaintances, I never met anyone through my social networks. And like this chart here says...
Yeah, I never met anybody through my social networks either. I've literally met no, I'm going to change that. The one relationship that I had was a long-term relationship outside of my spouse and some other significant ones. I was in summer school. But another, like, I don't want to date my friends. Okay, even though a lot of my friends are women that we've had, I wouldn't say sexual, but some partial non-platonic interactions. But that's just my personal taste. I don't know. But I don't want to date my friends. It's okay to actually feel as if, you know, you can have romantic interactions outside of your friends or what your friends introduce you to. And Lord knows, I don't want to ever tell somebody to look for a relationship in a bar or a club or things of that nature. But goddamn, go to things that you may be interested. Go to fucking book shows or art shows. And please, if you're in the Chicagoland area, come to the art show on August the 12th. Yeah, I gotta do a little bit of shilling. But goddamn, learn. I won't say learn. That's being too condescending. Accept the fact that there are certain shit that you just can't. You can't control. Sometimes shit is up to chance. And trying to get the statistic on your side instead of just learning how to be you. Like Panda said, and thank you for watching, Panda. You show your inherent lack of, well, this is special or unique about me because you're trying to game the system. And gaming the system, it's not fucking fun. It's a tacit admission that maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. And maybe that may be your problem. But it's something special about you that, you know, is worth people liking. And yeah, Let's go.
Most people meet a significant other through friends in common. Very occasionally, people might recommend someone else to me. I remember one time in my 20s, they pointed out a goth girl who thought I was cute, but I've never been into goth, so I didn't see a point in pursuing that because I didn't see her being compatible with me.
Wait, so you're fucking telling me that you actually had somebody point out, hey, this young lady may like you, and instead of pursuing it in a way of maybe she just looked goth, maybe she isn't like, super depressing or whatever the stereotype goth is, because that is a stereotype that you're falling for. Maybe she may fit what you're looking for out of a relationship where, let's just be honest, it's not about a relationship. It's about getting gratified. But let's continue.
More recently, there was a woman who's about 10 or 15 years older than me, a divorcee, and I won't go into details because I don't want to identify her, but both the divorcee and the goth girl have nothing in common with me except that both of us are single. And that was the only reason they were pointed out. In general, we don't have the experience where our friends point.
Okay, so maybe, just maybe, you can get into a, friendship with them and learn more social cues. I'm just saying, it's almost as if you're denigrating the thing that may help you get what you're looking for, a way of learning how to relate to people. But hey, that's just a theory, a person theory. I had to do it. I'm sorry. Bad joke.
Now, single people to us that we might be compatible with. And not just that. Our social networks are structured in such a way where we don't meet very many singles, not compared to the way it looks like normal people meet them. So, let me give you an idea.
This whole social network shit is really sounding eerily suspicious to, bone structure or bridges of nose, or maybe the way somebody way somebody believes. It's almost just an excuse to say I dismiss this person outright because of reasons. But yeah, let's continue.
Here of how things could have been different. Let's go back in time and pretend that my social experience had been different, where I was meeting women through my social networks, either just a friend of a friend or a direct referral or something like that. Now I made this.
Panda, this one's for you.
Last year, so I was 41 years old back then. So starting from 15 years old to 41, that's 26 years. So let's say in this hypothetical alternate past, I was able to meet...
Teacher, we don't have time travel. It's all... Why are we doing this hypothetical? Do what you're doing about it now. Hey, why don't you get into a group where you're not talking about how you're forever alone? You're talking about a group where you're single and ready to mingle. Why don't we do that? Why don't we talk about how I may be somebody who kind of likes, certain thing X, and you associate with certain thing X. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I'll equip him. Yeah. Well, let's go.
One new woman per month through social networks over the last 26 years. That's 312 women I didn't meet. Or maybe I met 2 new women per month through social networks. That's 624 women that I never met. This is one of the problems that a lot of incels and FAs face that I don't see very often discussed outside my channel.
Okay, so yeah, Panda, one rush, but again, you're looking for a way to game the system, dog. You're looking for a way to say the system has to be this. It has to work this way. Nerd calculations, super calculations. I wish I had a clip of from The Hangover where the dude was just like calculating everything in his head. But no, it's not about that. Like, legit, it's not about that. It's about, hey, maybe I kind of like this, I kind of like that, and let's see if I can meet somebody that's like that. Fuck social networks. Fuck the whole thing about how, like, no, I'm sorry. There are groups on Facebook, fucking YouTube. There are shit, like, I don't get it. We have so many social networks now, so many gifts, and so many ways of just actually having it where you can actually put out, hey, I like people that, you know, only drink almond milk as a source of, you know, substance. There are groups out there like that, and it's the internet. So, yeah, it's the internet. So there's people out there like that. I mean, like I said, I like women that are more sexually liberated. So it's groups out there for that. The fact that you say that it's hard to actually find someone, no, the relating is the hard part. And it's gotta be something, dog. It's not just people aren't relating to you. But let's continue.
Is the failure in the social networking process. As you can imagine, this kind of long-term failure leads to a lot of frustration. And that frustration, you feel frustrated because it feels like nothing you do ever matters. Nothing you do ever changes anything. It would be like if you were trying to, imagine you're trying to make an apple pie.
All right, so this is a picture. He legit has a hole with a road leading to an abyss with Nietzsche. And I'm sorry. I will never suggest, you know, the whole idea of talk to 50 different people, because that way when you strike out, you never miss out on things. Fucking show me the pain. Let me actually experience that pain of actually knowing, you know, what it is to have loved and lost. Show me that pain. Show me that experience of that. Don't sit back and just give up. Because what happens when you just sit back and give up is something that you claim that is so important to you. You miss out on so much. And I'm sorry. Let's continue.
Pie. Most people's experience of making an apple pie is they get the ingredients on the counter, they chop up the apples, you know, they put the dough in place, they get everything ready in the pan, they put it in the oven, they come back an hour later and maybe they get an apple pie, maybe they get a burnt mess.
What does this have to do with a relationship?
But you're not expecting to open the oven and have the apple pie vanish. And even if you're sitting right next to the oven the entire time with a lock and key on the thing, you know, an hour, hour and a half later, however long it takes to make an apple pie, you open that oven and the pie is gone. It's just vanished. That's part of the frustration of this, is where it feels like nothing you do ever matters. And deep inside that nihilistic abyss, Nietzsche is waiting for you. And from what I can tell, it's our human relationships that make life worth living.
All right, for the record, yeah, he was an existentialist, but he really wasn't a nihilist. If you actually read Nietzsche's quote, he said, nothing matters, so enjoy your time. Like, it doesn't matter. Nothing. Okay, so let me be proper. That's why I paused the game to say this. There is no absolute truth for people that are not theistic. You can be dismayed with that, or you can actually make your own truth. You can be upset about it, or you can actually say, since there is no fucking end goal, let's party. And not in the sense of self-destruction, but if I don't fall into the guy's set ways of I need to have a white picket fence and 2.5 kids. If I realize that's bullshit, like I kind of realize, then at some point you just have to say, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to do it how I feel fit and what makes me happy. And I don't mean by this whole MGTOW thing of, you know, men going their own way and just giving up on the, and I hate to say it, but giving up on the game because they can't win, so they don't choose to compete. No, just compete in a different way. But let's continue.
Living. And when basic relationships like this are failing, it has a real way of sucking the life out of your life. It has a real way of destroying whatever ambitions you may have had. It's at this point I'd say that the community splits in two. On the FA side, the Forever Alone side, you have the people who fell into depression. On the Incel side, you have the people who turn to rage instead. Now, I'm not going to defend or make excuses for either of these reactions. I'm just trying to explain the cause and effect.
Oh my god, I wish I could show you guys this, but like this monster that he has for the FA guys all head down, all sad. And I'm gonna actually put the description of the video on my YouTube channel. But the Incel guys, glowing red eyes, mud monster hands, and like toxic right up in here, like, dag, really, dog? That's what you feel? Somebody who shares your pain, but that's how you feel because you want to feel better than them. I, as somebody who goes through periods of not having a relationship or having a fucked up relationship, don't feel better than you. I just feel that maybe you need to make a different choice. But that's just me. Fuck it. Let's continue.
Of how a person gets there. So let me go into a little bit more detail as to how I got here. One of the long-term problems I had was a weight problem. This would be about the size I was at leaving high school. And for most of my 20s and into my good part of my 30s, I would fluctuate between this size and this size. This year at my biggest, this would have been my late 20s through part of my 30s. And oddly enough, the two girlfriends I did have, this is about the size I was at. Now these photos were taken...
Whoa! Wait a minute. So you telling me that it's not about weight? What was your fucking personality like? Done. Done. So, here's the thing. Guys, I thank everybody who's watched. Been streaming for about an hour. I'm going to be doing this tomorrow. And if you